Hello everyone and welcome to another brand new video over here. This one, I want to give a very quick heads up for anyone, because I do know some people, as their channel's a little bit more of like a gossip and news channel out here, they don't really necessarily want to engage in politics or somewhat more of a like real life or a more hardcore situation or discussion. This is kind of my own like viewer discretion is advised. Completely okay if you guys want to skip it, or if like hearing about political stuff is just not your cup of tea, do not mind that. That's not what I usually like to cover on the channel itself. But as of today, there is some really big viral clip over here from ChaChaYourVMom addressing jokes about Filian and as well making jokes that she got kidnapped by ICE. Now, I'm sure you guys probably just hear that two sentences right there. If you want to go and click off the video, that's totally fine. Like I said, I'm not trying to be too much of a political person, and as well, I always want to remind people in this community, sometimes I'm more so just sharing the message and sharing like the news, like the gossip, like think more of like a newspaper, like whatever. So just always keep that in mind. Please never be mean to the messenger. But of course, as well, I also always want people to never be like super scornful when it comes to these types of videos and comments as well. That's not the community I'd ever want to build in terms of people being like, let's cancel this person, let's destroy this person. Never what I really want to have on here. But people do sometimes have to take accountability or as well go against the grain. And I think this is one that a lot of VTubers especially are very outspoken against. As I mentioned, right now the whole political world is very heightened, especially when it comes to America, American politics, and of course ICE. And there's been a lot of news, especially in the past like week or so, that it just keeps on ramping up and 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 ramping up. It's been a lot. I'm sure everyone who's been on social media for even 2 seconds, on Twitter for a minute, has probably seen, how things can escalate or go kind of crazy, depending especially on what side you're on. Now, I try not to be too political, and I'm very on the middle end over here, but when it comes to the whole VTubing sphere, a lot of people are against the whole situation. And this is where it gets a little bit on the heated end too, because people are trying to say like if it's a joke, when the joke is acceptable, if the joke is even funny, and a lot of people as well are saying this shouldn't even be joked about as well. So feel free to go leave your comments throughout the video itself, but once again, as like your own, like my own, I'm the maker of this. A lot of rage bait can get a lot of easy clicks and views or whatever. For your own sanity, make sure you guys don't spend 24/7 just arguing the comments down below, or if it gets too much at any point, like it's okay to take the break. It's I understand completely. So let's go into a deep dive, because right now, as well, thank you everyone who like maybe leaves a like or subscribe, or if you guys enjoy the video, feel free to give your thoughts. But like I said, it's a little more on the drama end of serious drama, political stuff, which please don't ever cancel me, please. I try my best, I'm just here to give the news. There's this one kind of big clip over here that's been going massively viral. Like we're talking big viral. Over here from ChaChaYourVMom. And it's about her making jokes about Filian. Now, if you guys may or may not know, Filian has not streamed in quite some time. It's been about a month since her last stream, and it's like she did a lot. Like she did some pretty good big grinding, all that type of stuff. But she just hasn't been live for quite some time. It's been a little decent bit. So people are curious like where they went, what happened with them, etc., etc. And well, as you guys can kind of see on some of these over here, get to those in a second, a lot of people, as they're seeing all these jokes, were not happy with this vibe. A lot of people were not happy. And this clip is all in regards, like I said, Filian being away and her making a joke, ChaChaYourMom making a joke about how ICE went and arrested and basically kidnapped Filian because she's not been able to go and stream in quite some time. Let's go play out the clip over here too, and you guys can go and see it. And as you guys probably even saw in the first initial reaction, many people are against it. Many people are calling it out. Many VTubers are saying this is distasteful, bad timing, everything. But there is also, as I try to be a little on the unbiased end, there's also maybe like a 20% subsection or so that are saying, hey, this is a joke, humor should be allowed, and if people are getting their like mm-ms in a tizzy, then you're doing something wrong. So like I said, that's just like the two perspectives of this all, and it kind of leans towards the political world where you're always gonna have the people on the left, always gonna have the people on the right, and always gonna have the people in the middle that are like, what is going on? What's happening here? And maybe a case by basis. I'm more on the middle end too, where sometimes I get the humor, sometimes it's too soon. It is what it is. So let's go and drop this one on up. Let's go react to this more so the clip.
Truth to your daughter being on hiatus because ICE sent her back to the Philippines.
So that's why I try to explain to you guys the whole Filian situation. Filian hasn't streamed in quite some time. She's addressing Filian over here. Is there any truth to your daughter being on hiatus because ICE basically kidnapped her and sent her back to her home country?
I I wasn't going to talk about this at all. I shouldn't say anything, but the rumors are true. The rumors are true. ICE did knock down Filian's door, and they did kidnap her and send her back to the Philippines.
I'm gonna be honest. And for the community I have here on the people who've known me for a long time, or just in general, if you guys are new here, whatever, I will probably throughout my career, Twitch career, YouTube career, I'll probably say something stupid. You know, I let me just own up to it. Like, I apologize in advance. And I never want to go and, like, you know, my own end. I never want to be having, like, scornful people and me being like I said, oh my God, you're evil. This woman's horrible. Cancel her off our Twitch ever. That's, like, not the community I want to go and build. Because I do appreciate accountability, people growing and whatever. I can see why people think this is a very distasteful timing. And I can see why a lot of people are upset about this. Especially more so, I think a big thing when it comes to humor is the timing of it. Sometimes you can joke. Like, I think at this point, are we allowed to make, like, 9/11 jokes? I don't know. I think so, right? Because there's been enough time. Sometimes when there's things that are currently ongoing or literally in the same moment, it's a 50-50. Maybe not even a 50-50 is the right number, but it's a case-by-case basis. And this was one of those case-by-case bases where I don't think the joke timing was landing at all. Or maybe for some people who are joking with it, regardless, they're cool with it. It's like, it depends on the demographic you're in. But I think a lot of the VTubers are not against this. We'll get to that in a second for the community, I guess, reception of it all. That's, I think, the major call here. There is very, very not well timed.
And I'm currently working with ICE at the moment.
The amount of anti-ICE comments of people who are just working with ICE as a whole, I've seen on social media, astronomical. This is the world's probably world's worst sentence you could say if you never wanted to go and upset people. Not saying I'm upset. I'm trying to be neutral in this. I'm trying, just imagine me just being like a stoic monk, being like, well, this is the news. This is the news. If you wanted to go and literally say, I'm currently working with ICE, this is a social media explosion. Like, this is not what you're supposed to say.
To get her back. Where it's a work in progress.
He's gonna kill you for revealing this.
I know it's really embarrassing for her, but like, listen, it's a work in progress. I'm doing the best I can, okay?
I love how there's just the emotional damage right below her. Like right by the ear.
It's getting really complicated because I'm getting all of the ICE officers like in a row, and I'm threatening to spank them all with my chancla, but like, they keep saying, you know, do it.
So she's clearly trying to make a joke. Like, I mean, like, her friend got kidnapped on a, you know, on a hiatus. She's gonna be spanking ICE officers. I mean, like, she is trying to make a joke, but a lot of people, even the people who are like, hey, this is a joke, it's like, it's not landing. It's not landing, bro. It's not landing. Bad timing, bad like execution. What's going on with this? And obviously you have the other outside people where it's a very large majority of VTubers are just like, this is gross, this is ill-timed, I'm Latina, I'm disappointed in you, you're supposed to be like a mom type character. It's kind of like you need to know your audience for this. If you're someone like, let's say an old iDubbbz, and you make this joke, people would probably laugh. It's like what you cultivated is what you did. Not typically VTubers and VTubing watchers, this community is not typically okay with this. Some people are, like, I'll get to that.
With like a smile on their face. And I just feel like it's I don't know why, I just feel like it's a little counterintuitive. I don't think it's helping. I might need a few extra chanclas. I might need to like add some spikes to the end of those chanclas because like, I don't know what else to do. But don't worry, she's gonna survive in the Philippines. She will just backflip her way into the trees to get bananas and coconuts and mangoes. Like, she will survive, she will be fine. So, work in progress, we'll get her out. Don't worry. Mama will take care of it. Is Abel, I'm so scared. Is Abel in here? Did he?
And then Abel's the person who did the clip in the first place, then this little edit for it, posted it, and then of course as well, ChaCha also then quote tweeted it as well.
Did he see that? Abel sees all. I'm scared. He's like, Abel, don't clip that. It's supposed to be a secret. Tubes, you rat. What do you mean he'll know in a little bit?
And well, at this point, I'm curious if she's gonna be happy or not. This clip went pretty viral. So as I mentioned, a very large majority of people are kind of against this. Even on the tweet itself, here's her actual Twitter itself, it already has like just a lot of favorites more so, and also a lot of views. It's been pretty viral. And people are now once again kind of slowly quote tweeting it and calling her out. Being like, girl, poor doctor, breaking down instantly into tears right at the start, be strong, be both of you, be proud. It's been a very emotional time. Like some people in the community are like into it, respond to it, whatever. You know, just they know it's a joke, but as the joke kind of left the circle, left the inner circle, and people are seeing it, as I mentioned, a lot of people are against this. Anything to stay relevant. Gross. This makes me sad. What actually happened to Filian is actually true. Girl, you're Latina. This hurt me. Wait, this is a real thing? Why are people so pressed over a joke? And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, a very large majority are against this. A very large majority, especially in the VTubing world, is like, thinks like this is disgusting. They think it's bad. Like, you can literally see, this is disgusting. But right below it, if you're offended by this, then you've lost the plot and are probably hurting you or a cause more than helping. Why are people getting so pressed over a joke? I'm kind of seeing like an 80% ratio. Like, this is just arbitrary made up numbers. People scorning her, calling her out, saying they're disappointed, saying like this is not a funny time joke. And obviously some people are like, yeah, this is humor. Humor should be allowed. It's a little distasteful, a little edgy, but that's the point. And this kind of goes from there. And like, in what world is this funny or something to joke about? Well, thank you for joking about such a dark, sensitive topic and making it so obvious that you're not worth paying attention to now or at any point in the future. And they're saying based a spank him harder. Like ice jokes, melting memes and jokes aside, I hope Filian's okay. Philippines jailed. I think that's like a Vitali joke or whatever. And then obviously just a lot of people are making these two as well. Can't have fun on the internet. Like mother, like daughter. Here comes the Twitter cancellation. So if you even look at the main clip itself too over here, where the quote tweet was from, people are also making memes. They're like, you can't go and joke about that. And like, they're like, damn, that's crazy. And then other people are like kind of more laughing on this one too as well. And they're like, okay, maybe it's not as bad, but like, wait, where is Filian? What's going on with that? We're going to miss Filian gang. Ablebot to clip that. This is from the initial audience out here. But the one big thing is it always comes down to the quote tweets. When it comes to Twitter, people always want to call it out, especially if they have a chance to just make their comments known. You know, maybe they agree, maybe they disagree. Some people virtue signal, some people really truly were affected by stuff very heavily. You know, it just depends on the person, depends on the community. Nothing pretty with this. I'm not one for politics in the slightest. It is sad to see this being joked about, especially considering the recent events and families torn apart, the lives ruined, and the sadness for some who will never be able to come home again. Extremely distasteful too as well. And then some people even on the response were saying, thanks for bringing attention to it, that's a funny ass joke. I missed this clip from my boy Abel Clips. Since Filian was deported, I thought he was on hiatus. And then of course as well, some people are like, oh, you describe everything as a lie, and they're called a joke. So some people are fighting back against it. And then some people are like, I don't want my VTubers about politics. It's annoying. Then don't watch them. I won't. Thanks for the advice. And also people are saying, agreed, I'm here. If it's just a joke, it's often pointed at one side or the other. And that's why I'm trying to be like more in the middle, kind of showing both ends here. Not that I just for the sake of the video, like don't, like I'm, you know, I always try to be somewhat unbiased, kind of give the vibes of it all, or give my, like, I don't really think my perspectives for a lot of things matter that much. You know, we're making the video. It's the news. People are going to say both things on either end. You know what I mean? So even if it's just a joke, it's often pointed at one side or the other and reveals their own personal politics, which I think is actually very true. I don't want that stuff in my cute anime girl streams. And a lot of people are like, I'm here to be happy. You know, a lot of people are saying when it comes to politics, I don't even want to have to deal with politics in the first place. This is more of like the centrist middle view where it's like, I don't even want to care about politics in the first place. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to show everything. Some people are dropping the I love just being Mexican too as well. And making the stow of everything's going on, making a satire post about it's absolutely disgusting. It's not something to joke about, nor is even remotely funny. And they're saying, no, literally, it's actually terrible. I think posting saying this with what's currently going on with ICE and the recent of a woman by ICE, I'm only doing that because, you know, YouTube monetization, this ain't it, not now. And people are even saying it's crazy. This has not even been deleted since then. And then just more graphic imagery. Sorry for that one. Some people are saying it's an overreaction. Some people are calling it out, saying, what world is this funny? I'm legitimately sick to my stomach. What is wrong with you, dude? Like, you guys are seeing everything. Like I said, a lot more people I think are against this at this point, mainly due to politicals. I do think VTubing does skew a little bit more on the left side as well, just overall. So it makes sense that many people are kind of more against this at the current point. Why would VTubers joke about ICE and what's going on in America? Like, what people's lives and rights are being taken? But do you have any idea how terrifying is that for people? But oh yeah, let's make a funny, haha, edgy joke. When are people going to learn before they think, before they speak, act, and post, etc.? People think getting a joke out of during a relevant time of a bad situation is trending and they take that risk for growth. Are we serious? Nothing about how their actions and words will affect their communities. Now, we've had actually quite a few comments I've seen just by scrolling through these all, saying people that enjoy this type of humor or enjoy these types of people are saying, hey, now I know who to follow. Or, oh my God, I just followed her, LOL, like laughing emoji, laughing emoji. So sometimes this does skew towards the people who are more into the edgy humor, more on maybe the right side of politics, or people who are like, you know, it just depends. Like some people do skew towards these types of posts for reactions on it, or as well, they do get quite a bit of publicity. Like I can almost guarantee you, regardless, this person's getting quite a few followers because it kind of makes their presence known towards anyone on the outside side. And this is also why people are saying, I don't even want to be a VTuber based on looking at this all. You know, and then like, oh my God, it's most insensitive and immature things for attention. Now, to kind of like wind down the video on this one, because it is this is a hard one. Politics is never a fun topic to talk about, although it is very gossipy to talk about, so it kind of fits the channel itself. Although I try to skew more towards happy stuff or more like smaller drama than the world. Because there is things of humor, there is things that people should be allowed to make jokes, and this, I'm more so doing like the 20% side now, of like the people are like, you should be allowed to make jokes. That's how you cope. That's how comedy should be. That's how like the world should be. Because there's people, I think as of today, there was ICE agents who went to a Mexican restaurant and then they arrested the people working there right afterwards. And then there people are, you know, obviously making jokes right afterwards of being like, here's an ICE officer dancing over some really good fajitas. So people online, you know, will make jokes. This is in like in regards of like what just kind of happened, that same situation. People will make memes, people will talk about it, whatever. But I think a lot of people are saying that it's disgusting, it's in poor taste, and people are not happy with the overall situation with it. But of course, some people are just trying to say like, hey, whatever, you're just a V-tweeter, you're like, this is gross, this is on X, not Blue Sky, it's a joke as well. So like I said, it's all over the place. It varies all over the place. This is why it's a hard video to go make. And that's why I can apply one to run it down over here. What do you guys think? Don't fight too much in the comments. Subscribe if you guys are new, if you guys want. If not, no worries. But yeah, this whole situation for the past few weeks has been nutty. Like it's been a roller coaster to say the least. There's just a lot. Like this, wow, it's just very a lot. Appreciate y'all for watching. I'll talk to you guys all soon. Peace out.